Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Barakahakodash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. In peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Raya coming at you with another lesson, and I'm going to start it off with an article from businessinsider.com titled, China has 600 nukes already, and it wants to beat U.S. missile defenses, the Pentagon says. And hey, nuclear missiles will be shot from nations like China, Russia, etc., during World War III, and the United States of America is going to be their main target. And America's anti-missile defense systems are going to fail, and it's going to be a hell of a lot more than just 600 nuclear-capable missiles that are going to hit the U.S. This is Revelation chapter 9. I'm going to read verses 16 to 18. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, which is 200 million, because in the Hebrew there is no word for million. And I heard the number of them, and those horsemen are speaking of 200 million nuclear missiles, which are going to hit the United States of America. And while you may think that that's a ridiculous number, this is an article from dailymail.co.uk that was published on July 7th of 2023, titled, Biden to send thousands of cluster bombs to Ukraine despite them being against U.S. law and banned in 120 countries, a year after Jen Psaki said using them would potentially be a war crime. But I'm going to get to this paragraph right here. The United States has used cluster munitions in every major war since Korea, but no new ones are believed to have been produced for years. The U.S. last used its cluster munitions in battle in Iraq in 2003 and decided not to continue using them as the conflict shifted to more urban environments with more dense populations. Now, you may be asking why I'm going to an article from 2003 about cluster munitions. Well, listen to this. As many as 4.7 million cluster shells, rockets, missiles, and bombs containing more than 500 million submunitions or bomblets, a lot more than 200 million, remain in military inventories, ready to use, according to estimates by Human Rights Watch drawn from Defense Department reports. So if these nations got, in the hundreds of millions of submunitions and cluster shells and rockets and smaller missiles, how much more these main weapons out here, these nuclear weapons, which, these nations know that whoever gets off that first strike, hey, it's going to be the winner. And that they know that it's going to take a lot to take down the United States of America. So these nations have been building up their nuclear arsenals, the U.S. included. And, they're saying 600 million in that article with China. But these governments don't have an obligation to tell you the truth. You can't even get your own family members to tell you the truth. So when it comes to, military secrets, hey, best believe it's more than what they're saying. But regardless, I just brought that out to show that 200 million nuclear capable missiles, and they don't have to be the big boys like the ICBMs. They can be a mixture of lower yield nukes, medium and short range, submarine fired, etc. But 200 million nuclear missiles are going to hit the United States of America and turn it into the biblical lake of fire, from sea to shining sea, and then a desolate, uninhabitable wasteland afterwards. Verse 17, and thus I saw the horses in the vision. And horses can represent power, which these missiles have great power, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. And Lions' teeth are very deadly. That's one of their main weapons. So that's talking about the warhead at the front of the missile. And out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone, that nuclear fire. But these three was the third part of men. By these three was the third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. And in the scriptures, you have three classifications of men. You have the sons of God, who are the children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You have the sons of men, who are the heathen nations outside of the Edomites, such as the Moabites, who are the so-called Chinese, the Ishmaelites are the so-called Arabs, etc., etc. And then you have the sons of the wicked, the third part of men, which are you Edomites, or so-called white people. And everywhere you Edomites dwell are going to be hit by nuclear missiles. But before we get back to that article, this is Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. And, this is talking about that ancient warfare, when with swords and shields and men screaming and running at each other in lines. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. This third woe, World War III, which is going to end in nuclear missiles being fired to the ends of the earth. Revelation chapter 9, verse 12. One woe or destruction is past, referring to World War I. And behold, there come two woes more hereafter. World War II, which is past, and World War III, which, for all intents and purposes, you can say we're in the beginning stages of, and will be fought with flame and fuel of fire. But now let's get back to this article. China has been fielding over 600 operational nuclear warheads since mid-2024, up from about 500 last year, according to an estimate by the Pentagon. And also, those warheads contain multiple smaller nuclear capable warheads. So it's not just, one warhead on one missile. They break open and have multiple ones inside. That report growth puts Beijing on track to hit Slovakia. Where'd it go? The Pentagon says China isn't just making more warheads, it's building a wide array of capabilities to launch them too. When you look at what they're trying to build here, it's diversified nuclear force that would be comprised of systems ranging from low-yield precision strike missiles all the way up to ICBMs with different options at basically every rung on the escalation ladder. Like I just said, those 200 million nuclear missiles, they don't have to all be those ICBMs. They can be an array of different types of nuclear capable missiles. A senior defense official told reporters at a briefing on Monday, ICBMs refer to intercontinental ballistic missiles, which is a lot different than what they've relied on traditionally, the official added. China says it maintains a no first use nuclear policy, meaning it will only ever deploy a nuke in retaliation for another nuclear strike. But the U.S. has been startled by what it says is a rapid buildup of Beijing's nuclear forces in the last few years. In 2020, the Pentagon thought that China had only 200 nukes and would have 400 by 2030. The Defense Department's newer estimate of 1,000 warheads by 2030 would put China closer to being a peer threat to the U.S. and Russia, the two behemoths of the Cold War. In Proverbs 21, verse 1, the king's heart or mind is in the hand of the Lord. He moveth it whithersoever he will. The Most High is putting the Spirit on these different heads of nations and militaries and scientists to what? Build up their nuclear arsenals, and for what? These nations to leave those nuclear weapons peace treaties and bans, just like we saw a lot of what the U.S. did during Donald Trump's first presidency. A strategic treaty between the U.S. and Russia limits their active arsenals to 1,550 warheads, though they are stockpiling thousands more. Now, Western arms analysts are concerned that China isn't engaging in talks about its nuclear buildup, a key mechanism that the U.S. and Russia use to prevent nuclear war. The PRC, the People's Republic of China, has not publicly or formally acknowledged or explained its nuclear expansion and modernization, the 2024 report said. Advanced systems to counter U.S. defenses. Meanwhile, a debate is raging in Washington about a need for the U.S. to expand and explore more advanced nuke launch methods so it can maintain an edge over China. The Pentagon's report for 2024 said Beijing is likely developing advanced missile systems in part due to long-term concerns about United States missile defense capabilities. These include hypersonic glide vehicles, which use the edge of the Earth's upper atmosphere to fly incredibly fast, and fractional orbital bombardments, which launch weapons into orbital space to extend their range and flight time. These technologies can make a nuclear strike difficult to detect or track. In mid-2021, China is believed to have combined them in a hypersonic missile test. But yeah, that's pretty much it with this article. But hey, these nations are gearing up for nuclear war and World War III, all of which is a part of biblical prophecy. And when they go to shoot those nukes, the Most High has put the Spirit on China and Russia to create weapons like these hypersonic type weapons to get past America's anti-missile defense systems, which is exactly what they're going to do. This is Joel chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand. And the men of the Lord, the prophets, chiefly of GMS or Great Millstone, as well as the brothers coming in the spirit of GMS, are out on the highways and byways preaching this word, as well as putting up video epistles like this, blowing that trumpet in Zion, warning the hopeful elect of our people of the times to come and what they need to do to get in the good graces of their power, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, to be safe from these calamities, and telling the wicked of our people and you heathens of the terrible day of Yahweh that is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. Speaking of those nuclear missiles, there hath not been ever the like, because they came about very recently, beginning with those 2 atomic bombs dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima during World War II. Neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations, because once those nations shoot those nukes, every single one is going to be fired. And when the dust settles, Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Most High, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus, along with the 144,000 of the elect of the nation of Israel, are going to begin enslaving the surviving heathens, and Abaratazam of that number. We're never going to allow you to build weapons of war anymore. Beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. A fire devoureth before them, that warhead at the front of the missile, and behind them a flame burneth, the rocket booster at the back. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. You've got cities and forests and parks and people going about their daily lives. and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. Desolate, irradiated wasteland, like Mad Max or Fallout. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire, nuclear fire, that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness, people getting burnt to a crisp by those missiles. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march, everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk, everyone in his path. And the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is going to be on those missiles, guiding them to their targets without any problems. And again, the Most High has also put it on these, Russian and Chinese scientists to create these much more advanced than the US's, missiles. When they shall fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. And that sword is speaking about those anti-missile defense systems, which those advanced missiles are capable to get past. And then also the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is going to be on those anti-missile defense systems to fail as well. And you've been seeing a bunch of so-called UFO and UAP sightings taking place all across the planet. And a lot of those are the chariots of the Most High, which, I've done videos on it before. All throughout, the Cold War, chariots were spotted over U.S. and Russian, nuclear weapons facilities. And when they showed up, the launch sequences started, but right before they initiated, they turned off and those chariots disappeared, just showing how on lock the Most High has everything. And when it comes time for those missiles to fly, they're going to fly without a hitch. Now I'm going to close it out in Psalms 58. I'm going to start at verse 3. The wicked, according to Job 9, verse 24, whom the earth has been given into the hands of, the border of wickedness in Malachi 1, verse 4. The sons of the wicked, you Edomites, are estranged from the womb. Hey, you're bastards to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. You're fatherless. You're the people of his curse. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. But now I'm going to jump down to verse 6. Break their teeth, the teeth of the wicked, O Most High, in their mouth. Break the great teeth of the young lions, O Yahweh. And like I said earlier, the teeth are a lion's main deadly weapon. So this is talking about Esau's, missiles and defense systems. America is going to get a lot of their missiles off too. But like we read back in Joel chapter 2, when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. The Most High is going to sabotage a lot of America's missiles and cause their anti-missile defense systems to fail. So this whore is wide open. Verse 7, let them melt away as waters which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, those nuclear arrows, let them be as cut in pieces. A lot of those missiles malfunctioning and then those anti-missile defense systems failing to, hey, let this place be wide open. But that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.